Wow, that was the second one?
See how exciting it is when we're like having fun in the studio and then all of a sudden we're live.
I can't believe that was
Where's
the
the good morning?
You guys must have started it before I got here.
Not true.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Lockpod, Belgium's top-rated podcast. And we're free of charge. Saving you hundreds of dollars.
At least $6 a month.
$72 a year. You know, that adds up after a decade or so.
You could listen
hundreds
to
of dollars.
You could listen to people that
Geico
don't know
so hold
anything
it.
about
if you listen to
much of
Lockpod
anything.
for a decade, you'll save close to $1,000.
Does that mean I'm going to be sitting in this chair for a decade?
What's that, Lynn?
Does that mean I'm going to sit in this chair?
John just walked out, I think.
You do.
I would rather give someone $1,000 than listen to Lockpod for a decade.
You just listened to us for a decade. I have a way I could show you. You could save $720.
Season 52, episode 8. Just sounds like, I think everybody, you just made yourself $1,000. You may recall in season 4.
You're welcome.
The world is burning. We're like doing this Lockpod episode.
Right. You're welcome, everybody.
Season 4, episode 20. Tom said you'd save $1,000.
You're
you
mocking
finally.
me.
No, I'm not. It's a long time.
I just gave everybody that listens to our show a way to save $1,000, and you guys are laughing.
By doing nothing.
I just can't believe I'd be sitting here.
I wish it was a savings over a shorter period of time. That's all I'm saying.
There you go.
It is what it is.
You want a higher rate of return, don't you, John? On your money.
Well, you know me.
I just want somebody to hand me money. That's all.
Yeah,
Lindsay's back. Look at that.
Yeah, Lindsay's back.
Notorious LMP in the house.
Welcome back. Whoop whoop. How's it going? You hating life?
I'm exhausted. 1, 2. My allergies are driving me up the wall today.
Yeah.
So
How's
I got these from you.
School and everything going well? Obviously.
Oh yes, everything's great. I'm gonna be on the dean's list this semester.
Are you
Look
really?
at you,
It's
smarty
looking like
smarty
it.
pants.
Right.
There's like 3 tests in my way between now and the end of the semester, and I don't predict that they're gonna screw me up.
Okay. Well, that's enough of Lindsay. Let's move on.
I wanted to ask her about her sweatshirt.
Oh, okay. What's up?
Oh yeah, we were having
yeah.
a discussion without you today.
Really?
Can you
This
stand
is-
up? Okay.
All
This
right,
is
there it
my
is.
louder than a bomb sweatshirt, and I guess they thought it was something much cooler. But
louder than
actually,
bombs.
I think it's
Louder than
much
bombs?
cooler
It's
than
like-
what you guys think.
We thought it was a Smiths album.
Yeah, we thought it was.
No, I
But
don't
it
listen to
wasn't.
the Smiths. I'm not that kind of person.
Yeah.
You're not cool.
Exactly, John.
No, this is a poetry slam contest for high school students in
nice.
Chicago, and
Yeah.
I used to coach some kids.
Tom is so uninterested
I know,
in this
he's
guy.
All right, that's
like,
enough about
wow.
Lindsay. Let's move on.
All I wanted to say
I
was
love my daughter. I haven't seen her in like over a week, and
the Green Mill. That's where I used to go for poetry slam.
That's where poetry slam was invented.
Boom. I was there when it
God,
started.
He
Sorry.
was there.
I fell asleep.
Oh my
bad.
God.
Oh my God! It's not about Tom.
No,
You gotta-
I mean just like
My brother
You know,
said.
let's talk some poetry. Like that's sure to drive up the numbers.
Dad, you weren't here when we were trying to figure out a way to start the show, so we were left to our own devices.
I already did, man. I saved everybody $1,000, and you guys mocked me.
You know,
There was no mocking. I was.
It was a lot of mocking.
There was not. I was just
It was
like,
like-
I can't believe if we're here in 10 years, it's going to be something.
Yeah, we're gonna be here in 10 years. We're gonna be nationally syndicated by then. I forgot
Agreed.
to add that.
Yeah.
Right?
There you go. That's what I
Right.
meant. Not here.
It'll be like airing in.
I'll finally have made some money off of this thing.
Yeah, you are
Sick.
5% owner, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Or is it 3%?
No, I think 5. I think
It's
you're generous.
It's way
5%.
too much.
Yeah, it's like,
What the
man,
hell
I thought it
is
was
it?
one.
she never shows up.
I'm
even.
like the minority
Bare-
partner in
she's
this.
barely
Yo,
here.
I'm in school right now. Okay.
Yeah, I want you to sell your shares.
Yeah.
I'll
They're
sell
gonna be
them.
worth some
How much
money
you wanna
in a
sell
decade.
for?
I'll give you a smooth $10,
Ew.
and I'm overpaying. By the way,
Whatever's in the swear jar.
yeah, there you go.
There
The
you
swear
go.
jar is
It's
yours.
not
Lindsay.
Lindsay's. Well, something happened. This is interesting because we, the mayor previewed something last week, which was really, I think, the first time it had been mentioned in public, which was his theory about first congressional district.
Yeah. By the way, should we do Lockpod in the news?
Oh yeah, we're gonna.
John?
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Oh God. This is really cheesy. Oh.
Lockpod. Mayor Tom's political prediction. Did it come true? This is Lockpod. You're listening to Lockpod.
That was horrible.
It was
That
terrible. I
was
wasn't
really
ready.
awkward.
Somewhere, Matt Money Smith just decided to turn off Lockpod and go surfing.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah,
for
I
that.
know.
But
Like when you hear that news,
I need
clip,
to be
you
ready
gotta-
to go.
You got to get your voice out.
I agree. It was
Yeah.
it was quick this morning.
Matt Money Smith would have been all over that, John.
Yep.
You served it up, and Kevin whiffed.
I literally just tossed it up.
Sorry about
And
that.
swing and a miss.
Mocking me.
lot.
I think you even
I am
laughed.
mocking you.
You even laughed.
I
Like
did.
you started it. And I
Well,
look at
because
Kevin, and Kevin's like, "Oh, am I supposed to be doing
I didn't
something
think
here?"
through it this morning. Sorry about that.
By the way, why is the Earth red on that? It's like a Russian.
It's a Soviet
Global
Earth.
warming.
Look at
Mars.
Yeah.
That's like a Russian newscast.
It's Martian.
It's like we're a Russian newscast.
Well, no one sees that.
The
They just hear the
audience
music.
can't
There is
see it,
people
but
that
We'll
see it.
show them what we're
YouTube-
talking about. Here we go.
YouTube sees
He usually
it.
doesn't
People
put it
watch it
up.
on Facebook.
It wasn't
Yeah.
projected, Father.
But
Red
it looks
Earth.
like a Russian news agency. It's like
global
TASS.
warming.
I think it's like TASS. It's like a TASS opening.
I should have said Mayor Tom's political prediction update.
Okay, we're going to give Kevin another chance, chat.
All right, let's
You
go.
ready?
Let's
Here
go.
we go.
You're listening to Lock Pod with Mayor Tom and Kevin Smith, and this is Mayor Tom's political prediction update.
Wow.
Good morning, comrade. I mean, this is like TASS, right? Good morning, everybody. This is an update on a story we did a couple weeks ago about
Not even, yeah.
a theory that I had when the new maps came out and the congressional district changed. And it was like a slight change. And it looked like very inconspicuous change. Like, because there was fear that the first congressional district in Indiana was going to be radically changed, like dropping it south into the farm, the rural areas of, northwest Indiana. And it didn't. It was literally like a neighborhood change, a small little shift, like maybe
Almost
one,
like unnoticable. Like if
basically
you really
unnoticeable.
And if I think if you're not attuned to politics like you are, Tom, I mean, you're like, whatever. It was barely.
And initially, there was comments thanking the Republican supermajority. Hey, thank you for not jacking up the first congressional district. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying there was
then
comment.
you were like, wait a minute.
There was a change, and I'm like, why did they change it? Really, the population didn't shift that much.
And
It
your
didn't
theory
need to change
is
it.
there's never a coincidence.
Right.
in
So we
politics.
followed it up and discovered that there was a neighborhood added that contained a high-ranking Republican very close to Governor Eric Holcomb, named Blair Milo. She was the former mayor of LaPorte. She's a great lady. She's super smart. She's a great candidate. She's obviously a Republican. She's part of the governor's cabinet, and she recently quit a few months ago to take on a job in the private sector, which makes you scratch your head because she quit being mayor to go work for Governor Holcomb. So, like, why would she go into the governor's cabinet and then quit unless there was some plan going on? And then you combine that with the district changing and including her into the first congressional district. Now, Kevin, could you explain the latest update on this?
Well, yeah. I mean, after the Democrats got their hats handed to them in Virginia, Kevin McCarthy, who really just grates me, got on to wherever he was, I think some podium. And, RNCC was kind of celebrating this and saying, like, look out, Democrats, because if this is a bellwether, the Virginia gubernatorial race, and you barely won in New Jersey, we're coming for you. And he said, I think he said something to the effect of, if you're D plus 16, meaning that if you're in a district, if you're a congressman or woman that's in a district that you won as a Democrat by 16 points or less, look out, we're coming for you, is basically what he said.
Okay.
And then the next day, the list came out, and they ran through a bunch of districts that are usually considered safe Democratic districts, and said these are now on our target list. And one of them was Indiana 1, which is crazy because, as we all know, first congressional district in Indiana is one of the most secure Democratic districts in the country.
Easily. There's never been a Republican elected in that district since we've been alive.
No, and well before that. I mean,
Right. So
50s maybe.
no, I don't believe in coincidences. I've said this before. And you start adding up all these clues, and I think all indications point to the fact that Blair Milo is running for Congress. And
Yeah, I mean-
I'm announcing for her. Blair, you can thank me later. Okay.
They didn't just, you know what I mean? Like, it almost feels like they've got a plan in place.
There is
and
a
they were
plan
like,
in place.
now we're going to target it. Now
The
we're
plan
going to.
was this. So it goes back. It's Blair expressed interest to Governor Holcomb probably. Governor Holcomb tells the supermajority that's drawing the maps, hey, just do a little change and add LaPorte into the city of LaPorte into this district.
That won't hurt Jackie Walorski in the second.
It's not going to hurt Jackie. It's a very small move. It just adds this neighborhood into the first congressional district. I got a person that's going to run, and she's great, right? And then they make this minor little change to the district and get thanked for doing it, by the way. And now Blair Milo, is out there campaigning. She's recently done she's done like 2 or 3 headline appearances in Porter County recently. And now, you got the National Republican Central Committee coming out and placing the first congressional district on a target list.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, I personally still think it's safe, but I guess we'll wait and see what happens. If they're going to have
I'm going to make that
at
clear. What you just said, Frank Murvan will beat her.
Yeah.
Okay? He will. All right? But, sort of like what I'm doing in Indiana, obviously I'm fighting a fight that a lot of people are like, wow, that's going to be
red
tough.
state.
It's going to be
Right.
tough. What you're doing is going to be really tough. How do you expect to win? I hear a lot of that stuff. I'm sure she'll hear the same kind of thing. And what I tell people is, hey, I want to beat Todd Young. I think I can beat Todd Young. I'm going to try to beat Todd Young, right? But at the top of the ticket, which is where I'll be, I'm going to set the stage for all the state reps, all the state senators, all the county officials that are running across Indiana. I'm going to help set the tone from the top of the ticket, and hopefully it's a good tone that I'm setting so that my carryover helps all these other candidates running all across the state of Indiana, right? She could be thinking very similarly about the 1st Congressional District is, hey, I think I could win this race. I think I could do really well in LaPorte County. I'm going to do really well in Porter County. I think I can hold my own in Lake County and possibly pull off an upset. And even if I don't win,
I'm going to bring out Republican votes.
All these candidates in Northwest Indiana.
Because Republicans are going to be fired up because the RNC targeted it. They're going to put money into it.
She's a good candidate. I mean, we all acknowledge she's a good candidate. Just like, by the way, just like me, statewide, I'm a good candidate. Whether people think I can win or not, it's another thing. But I'm no patsy. Like, Todd Young's not happy I'm running. I'll guarantee you that. Because he's like, damn, I got a real candidate. You know,
that's why you have a tracker.
Todd Young's probably like, I still think I can win, but this guy's the legit. He's going to take me to the mat. He's going to say things I don't want him to say. And that's why I got a tracker. That's why Todd Young hired a tracker to follow me around like a creep, by the way. Who does that? Your U.S. Senator does that. He's a creep.
I think going back to the 1st Congressional District, Tom, I think what you said is exactly accurate. I think if I was a Republican, I'd say, you know what? If we have a chance to get that district, it's going to be this time around. So let's get a good candidate. Let's take a shot at it and see what happens. It's the midterms. Traditionally, you know, the party in power doesn't do well. Maybe we can steal this one because it was closer than it ever has been the last time around. Right. Probably because it was an open seat. So.
It was in Frank's first time running.
Yeah, exactly.
Ride, right?
Exactly. So I think once Congressman Rivera gets in there and he's wins several times, then he's safe. But right now they're thinking, oh, we can go after him.
He's safe in November for sure.
Yeah.
But like in this case, the Republicans don't think Frank is safe in November, and
they're going to take a shot. They're going to take a shot,
and they're going to put up a good candidate, and we'll see how he does. I think he'll still be victorious personally.
I do too.
But I think it might be a little bit more uncomfortable than the congressman's used to in November.
You know what? And if that race ends up bringing out votes for Democrats, that's good too. Because
it will.
That helps you.
Oh,
and
it will.
Helps, yeah.
And Frank and I will be campaigning together
without a doubt.
Right.
So it's interesting. It's going to all play out.
Yep.
We're going to see what happens.
Why don't we do an update?
Let's. You want to do an update, or you want to do some ads and come back with update and mailbag?
Let's go.
All right, ads it is.
Sure. You start.
Wow. All right. I get to do our premier sponsor, which is Powering America.
Pow.
Season 4 is powered by our premier sponsor, Powering America. With the explosive growth of renewable energy in America today, call Powering America to meet your needs. For renewable energy in your home or office, including electric vehicle chargers and solar power solutions, trust the electrical professionals of Powering America. Visit poweringnorthwestindiana.org.
Thank you, Kev. Tortillas Nuevo Leon. Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard of Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia.
Yeah!
De todo corazón.
So much better that way. Harmony with Eli.
I was playing the drums if you guys heard
Mayor's Yeehaw with Eli. Misprint specializes in delivering the highest quality signs and printing on time and within budget. Misprint's experience and technology allows them to offer custom, commercial, on-demand printing and sign solutions and metal cards you can count on. Rick Balzenberger and his team have served Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana for over 30 years, and they have 2 convenient locations in Munster and Hammond. That's Misprint Printing.
Byway Brewing. By the way, I listened to that show the other day with Dave Toth. He did a really good job.
Yeah,
that was a good
it
show.
Nice to have him.
Yeah, it was nice to have him in here. Byway Brewing. Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious taproom and outside patio. Brewing equipment offers a unique backdrop for your private event like weddings, reunions, and corporate parties. We are conveniently located just off of 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Come on by and enjoy Byway's award-winning beers and unbeatable menu.
Tri Electronics wants to be your complete communications provider. Tri Electronics has been a leader in this industry for more than 55 years, and they're dedicated to assisting their clients with their systems integration needs. We have the expertise and experience to provide superior results for a wide variety of products. For more information, call Tri Electronics today at 800-722-6793. And thank you to our sponsors, especially Powering America, our premier sponsor.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's move. Campaign update.
What were you doing this week? You know,
Campaign
John, we need
update,
like an
mailbag.
on the road little music.
On the road
like,
again?
It
It wasn't a lot of on the road this week, though. Next week is on the road.
Yes, it is.
This week is not. This week was more local, which, by the way, I would like to remind people that Northwest Indiana is the second largest market in Indiana. So obviously, I don't want to ignore the second largest market in Indiana. So there are a number of events around Northwest Indiana that I need to hit, and I will hit, and I have been hitting, and I've been hitting it since the beginning of my mayorship. Quite frankly,
without a doubt,
I'm a region person, and I work the region hard. But this week seemed like it was a region week for me, which is fine.
Not bad. Plus a Zoom call, which is great too, because you were
Zoom
able
call
to get down somewhere.
with the 6th congressional district.
Woo! That's something, man. That district, as we're getting to know these things, or as I'm getting to know these things, I should say.
It's like Columbus.
19 counties.
Columbus, Indiana, Richmond, Indiana, Muncie. It's southeast corner of the state. So,
John, did you get that? Is there a way you can bring that up, that picture? That's crazy. I was just shocked when I counted. No, okay.
No, that's right.
19
Shelbyville.
counties.
It's the southeast corner. Madison, by the way.
Like Muncie to Madison.
Muncie to Madison. There you go. But like we've been to it a few times already, the 6th congressional district.
The funny thing is out of the districts that are away from the Northwest, we've been there the most.
It seems like we've been in the 6th more than the 9th, and the 9th is more friendly to Democrats. But I have been working the 6th.
Don't
pretty
say
hard.
that to our 6th district.
No.
friends.
And I'm going to be everywhere. But it's just funny how at the beginning of the campaign seems like we're been really working the 6th. Not that, and Todd Young's probably laughing right now when we say 6th district. You're going to do well in the 6th.
Little does he know about our 6th district strategy.
But honestly, like part of the reason Todd Young sucks as a U.S. senator is because he doesn't visit the parts of Indiana where he doesn't do well. And I'm not going to be like that when I'm the U.S. senator. When I'm the U.S. senator, I'm going to go to the 6th congressional district, even though I know that I may struggle there. But I'm going to be their U.S. senator, Todd. That's the problem with you. You only look at Republicans as Hoosiers. If you're a Democratic Hoosier, you look at them like you don't matter. And you've been treating us like that since you walked in, and that's why we're going to be walking you out next year, Todd.
Yeah, Wayne County, Shelby County, Jennings County, you've hit all those. Bartholomew, all these things.
Right.
All right, great, exciting.
So,
that
we did that.
Cool.
That was nice.
Thank you to our district chair, 6th district chair, Annette. She did a great job on that Zoom call.
Another thing I did this week was I was the keynote speaker for the Lake County Democratic Party, which was nice.
Thank you, Chairman Weiser.
Yeah, it was nice. I gave them it's funny because people around here know me, obviously, and I gave them the speech I would give if people didn't know me. I was like, hey, I'm going to, because,
a test,
well, it gives me a chance to do my speech.
Agreed, in front of by the way, huge crowd.
Yeah, what, 400 or 500 people?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I got a chance to do the campaign speech, which I'm still getting used to, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I think I did a good job. But that was a packed event. It was nice. I got to hang out with Marissa at a fundraiser, which is nice.
Yeah.
Her and I don't get to campaign together very often.
Fun.
Yeah. So that was really cool. I went to the Porter County Sheriff, Dave Reynolds, who is a good friend of mine. His son announced that he's running for Porter County Sheriff. And
also named Dave Reynolds.
Yeah, which is easy.
Sure.
I imagine they use similar signs, right?
Yeah. Hey, Dad, you mind if I use your sign?
Yeah,
that's funny.
So he's...
Great candidate.
No. I know he's a great candidate, but just being realistic, I'm a same name as my father.
Yeah.
I use different colors, and I was in a different party. Okay.
True.
But if I were Dave Jr. running for Porter County Sheriff, I would use the same colors and the same sign. Why not? Save yourself a bunch of money, right? But he's going to be criticized. And that's him and I are having lunch, and I'm going to show him some of the pitfalls I went through early.
Yeah, it's good. You guys have very similar. Yeah, interesting.
I was and I've already gotten through it, obviously, because that happened 20 years ago. But Dave's about to go through what I went through 20 years ago. So him and I have lunch coming up.
That'll be an interesting
looking
conversation.
forward to talking to him. And his father has always been like a mentor to me, even though he's the Porter County Sheriff. But he's always been a good guy in the Democratic Party, right?
For sure.
So, and by the way, the kind of guy that I need to emulate, because he's a Democrat in Porter County that's successful, because people trust him and they know he's moderate and he's pro law enforcement. And these are the same strategies I need to take on the road, which is easy for me because that's who I am.
And it's also a great reminder that Democrats can win in Indiana. I mean, Porter County is usually a bit of a toss-up, leans Republican, and Dave Reynolds, the Sheriff Reynolds, has been easily elected there.
If I lived in Porter County, I would do very well out there.
You did well in the congressional race.
Did well in the congressional, but if I lived there and I ran for judge, or because they could elect their judges because they're Republicans,
Wow.
In Lake County, we're under martial law. We can't elect our judges. That's another story.
Unique idea.
Yeah. So
a story for another day.
It was a busy week, but next week is going to be busier.
We're going to have excitement when we talk about.
Yeah, next week when I give you an update, it'll be a lot more travel involved.
Good.
But,
all right. Mailbag, John.
Let's go.
Mailbag.
We got a good one today from Luke M. I know he's a listener, by the way. Of course, he's a listener because he submitted to it, but I've seen his name in chat and all that before.
Luke M.
Luke M. Mayor Tom and Kevin. I went to a national chain today, B-Dubs. And,
Oh, boy.
and they, this is one of my favorites.
They're not sponsoring.
Hello, B-Dubs. It's your turn again.
And you love
right.
B-Dubs.
I do
That's
love,
right.
no, they got rid of my freaking sauce.
Yeah.
I haven't been back.
What?
I have not been back since I got rid of hot barbecue.
They
Kevin.
got honey barbecue, and it's really good.
Yeah. If you
I
like
get
sweet.
the Parmesan garlic.
Well, good for you, dude. Have fun at B-Dubs.
Oh, Luke is in the chat.
Hey, Luke, what's
He's
up?
in Kansas right
living
now.
in Kansas at the moment.
Dude,
I love
I
it.
love it. Thanks, Luke, for listening from Kansas. We're huge in Kansas.
Yeah, Now we are.
Yeah. Jayhawk
I
State.
love it.
Share that stream, Luke.
Yeah. I went to a national chain today, Luke
Rock
tells
Chalk
us.
Jayhawk.
And they nonchalantly added a 20% tip to my bill.
Hmm.
I don't mind an added gratuity because of short staffing, but let the people know. I agree, Luke. I was about to add a 22% tip before I looked closer at the receipt that they only text to you now, shaking my head.
Wow.
You hit the nail on the head a few weeks ago and had to let you know the practice is spreading. Everybody check your receipts. I love Luke.
One of Mayor's
you are
pet
the
peeves.
man.
Mayor Tom's pet peeves.
That's why Luke and I are very similar, and we think it similarly.
And the server at B-Dubs lost 2%. He was
Dude.
going to do 22.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I don't like it. I agree. The text receipt, it's all a scam. It's like, we're going to screw you.
It's
You're
a way
going to
to-
tip me 42% without even realizing it.
See?
Yeah.
Technology.
I'm telling
Ask
you,
for
man.
a paper receipt.
Jalapenos lost a solid Mexican eating customer. I eat Mexican food.
Even though you ate it on the sly.
I didn't know. It was in a styrofoam box. Like, what am I supposed to turn down tacos and like burritos?
You would
I'm not.
never do that.
Bring me a styrofoam box
Full of Mexican
I'm not
food,
going to inquire.
you're eating it.
Where was this made before I eat this? I am not. I'm just going to eat it.
Is
because
this
that's-
Mexican food? Yes, I'll eat it.
I'll eat it. Where did you get it? Jalapenos. I'm like, don't tell me that.
Let me
eating.
eat this.
Yes. All right. We got another mail. We got a young man who was honored at a reception we had last week.
Really?
Nice young man because he works with underprivileged. Okay. Dear Mayor McDermott, it was such a privilege to attend your 34th annual Volunteers Award breakfast and to be recognized. Thank you so much for this honor. Sincerely, Noah M.
Very nice.
I
And
don't-
by the way,
I'm never going to say their full name, but Noah's a great young man, Hammond boy, and works with the underprivileged and was recognized by the city of Hammond for his outstanding volunteerism.
I think that volunteer breakfast is one of the coolest things that the city does all year. You want to just mention a little bit about that? I mean, I know you do it every year, so you've done 20 of them.
I mean,
basically,
we
but
recognize, we take, nominations from the public on people that go above and beyond and help the underprivileged. You could be helping, adults, you could be helping seniors, you could be helping kids, you could be helping people learn how to read, coaching teams, whatever. And we've done this for 34 years since my father was mayor, and it's still going.
I think it's a good reminder of how much is going on in the community around you. You don't even realize all the people that are putting in so much time around the community. And that's what I think the best part about it.
Agree. I got like 1, 2, 3, 4 letters, all with the same topic. It was all about the senior and disabled checks. We read I am getting buried in letters right now from that.
Very nice.
I'm going to read one of them because it was handwritten, but I appreciate all of them. In fact, I'll just say that Pearl wrote one, William and Jean wrote one, Joe wrote one, and then Janice is the one I'm going to read off. Mayor Tom and the Hammond City Council, thank you for helping. No, this is just to me. I'm sorry. But there's a reason that it's just to me. Thank you for helping us seniors. Don't ever leave the city of Hammond. Happy holidays. Well, how sweet. As soon as I read that, though, because she wants me to stay mayor, I think that she's possibly one of the people that voted against me when I ran for Congress.
You're like, thank you, but
she voted against me when I ran for Congress. I can
maybe
tell you.
that's
One of the common themes I heard
I
from
know,
Hammond residents
I
is
know.
they were like trying to be nice to me when I lost. They're like, hey, I love you as mayor. That's why I voted against you. I'm like, don't ever say that to me again, please. Like, I never want to hear that from you.
Yeah.
Like, and I have a feeling that
one of those.
Janice is one of the ones that loves me so much. She voted
never wants
against
you to
me.
leave.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like I'm drafted.
All right. Well, thank you, Janice.
I love you, Janice, too. Thank you very
Conscripted,
much.
more
And I
like.
won't.
You've been
I'm
conscripted.
conscripted. There you go. That's the word.
If people want to submit mailbag, how do they do that?
You can find me. You say it, Steve. Why are you asking rhetorical questions?
Lindsay,
Steve.
how about Lindsay's spiel? We haven't
Yeah.
asked her to do
Yeah,
that.
right.
You've been gone so long, we forgot you're supposed to do it every
I
time.
missed
We eliminated that part.
one of my regular episodes. I was gone for like a month and you still remembered. But then I missed one episode and suddenly it's
I
a
know.
huge
All right, you're
deal.
back. Let's hear it. Oh wow, that's like a
Are you doing this?
that was
But
dramatic.
include
Yes, okay,
how to
fine.
reach them by
That
mailbag.
was
sorry.
dramatic.
Hi, you're listening to Left of Center, where we cover everything from politics to important events of the day in the Midwest and the nation, all while having way too much fun while doing it. If you can't get enough of us, you can follow us on Facebook at Left of Center Podcast or on Twitter at LockPod, LOCPOD. If you cannot listen in live, you can always download our episodes from the Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio apps. Just search Left of Center Podcast and look for our red and blue logo. And if you want to be in Mailbag or you want to have an ad, you can send us an email at Steve, STEVE, at LockPod, LOCPOD.com.
Nice.
The end.
Well, thank you.
That's high energy.
Do you think Steve
Or
even
DM
checks
us.
his email anymore?
Steve, send a message to Steve. Or you could just text Dad directly at, just kidding.
Yeah.
Or
I get them,
I'm
believe
not
me.
going to do that.
Facebook DM.
Facebook
Listen,
DM.
I get multiple places where I get mailbag, and I just, if they're good, I'll grab them and use them for the show. Because
Get a hold of us.
Some of them
Sometimes
are-
they didn't even intend for them to be mailbag. We're just like, hey, that's a really
Right.
good point.
No,
We're
exactly.
just going to talk about it.
Sometimes if I get a crappy tweet, I'll read it out just because it's funny. So like,
Don't
that's
give away all
mailbag.
our secrets.
That's right.
Mailbag.
Mailbag. Well, what am I saying? We're not doing mailbag. We're
waiting
doing
for John.
ads, and then hey, I went to Elvis
Mailbag.
Costello concert the other day. Interesting story I wanted to talk about. First off, I wanted to talk about the show. Kevin wanted to go, but he
Yeah,
couldn't.
it's a long.
But anyway, let's do some ads, and we'll come back and we'll talk about some music. How about
All right,
that?
let's do
Okay.
it.
All right.
Sick.
Grazolius Concrete. Grazolius Concrete was voted number 1 in the Times Best of the Region 2020 and 2021. Grazolius Concrete specializes in all of your concrete projects, as they have been using the original cement finish in the California knows how to party. California
Never
style
gets old.
since
It
1972.
doesn't, Lindsay.
And also offers stamped and colored concrete. For more information or a project quote, call Grazolius Concrete at 219-659-4127.
Midwest Air Duct Cleaning. At Midwest Air Duct Cleaning, your health is their number one priority. They're dedicated to providing top-notch quality services at an affordable price. Their technicians have been trained to shelter the members of your household from potential airborne contaminants. If you'd like more information on how to protect the lungs of your home, call Marinko and his team at 219-671-8868 today.
Calumet Brewery. Calumet Brewery wants to tell you about Michelob Ultra. Michelob Ultra is a superior light beer with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, all while being one of the fastest growing brands in the region. Or you can try Ultra Pure Gold, an organic light lager with only 2.5 carbs and 85 calories, brewed for your healthy lifestyle. Enter to win a Michelob Ultra golf bag through calbrew.com. That's CALBREW.com. Check out Calumet Brewery's Facebook page for details.
Challenger Learning Center. The holiday season is here. Challenger Learning Center invites families to celebrate the season with a show full of classic holiday hits, all set to laser lights, all aglow. Thanks, Steve, for this copy.
This right.
This write-up, this reading. The holiday laser light shows will take place on Friday, December 17th at 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. Tickets are $12 and must be purchased in advance. Visit clcnwi.com or connect on social media at Challenger NWI on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I wonder if anybody in the chat went to the Halloween laser spectacular.
They said it was sold out.
What was it
Yeah,
called?
Fright
Laser,
Light
Laser
Spectacular.
Spectacular, yeah.
I don't know, but
Thank you.
Josh Huddleston says this feels like more of a reality TV show
saw
on
that.
MTV than a podcast.
Nice.
I
nice.
agree.
Are we like keeping
Sure
up
is.
with the Kardashians, or are we
No.
like the Real Housewives of?
I think we're like
Atlanta.
what?
I've never seen one of them.
way
Naked
back
and
in the
Afraid.
day.
That's not on MTV.
I love that
that's a good
show.
point.
That's definitely not us. Which one?
I can't think of it. They showed music videos, and it was like one guy was the host.
Oh,
URL.
that was on
Oh.
E. That was on E.
no.
No, this was
What's
URL.
the guy's name? Is it URL?
Oh God.
I don't know. Anyways,
I
Speaking of
feel
music.
really old.
I went to
speaking of music,
Elvis Costello the other day.
Love Elvis Costello.
I do too.
I should have
Do
gone.
you
with
like? You don't like him, John, or
just never really listened to him much.
He's kind of.
Lindsay is way too old for you, right?
I
Lindsay?
have
Same for
no idea
John.
who that is. You said Elvis Costello,
You've listened
and
to
I
him,
was
you
like,
just don't
that
re-
guy's dead.
No, you don't realize, honey. You've listened to him a lot. I play him in the car a lot. He plays a lot of
Radio,
Yeah.
Watching the Detective,
watching the
Allison.
detective.
None of these are ringing a bell.
There you go.
So anyway, I go to see him, and I hate this when you see artists. You know what I hate? You see an artist like Elvis Costello, right?
Mhm.
And they have a new record,
Right.
right? And it's like, appreciate your new record, okay?
Yeah, they're only going to play that.
That's like, so it's like, first off, first off, the band was excellent, and Elvis Costello was excellent. I do want to say that he's on top of his game.
At?
Chicago Theater. Okay,
beautiful venue.
How gorgeous is that place?
Love it.
It's great for a concert. I've seen a lot of plays there, but to see concerts there is really special because it's very intimate.
Yeah,
I
saw Neil Young there.
You're
saw
literally
Van Morrison there.
I was literally like 25 feet from Elvis Costello.
Oh, cool.
And,
that's a gorgeous set.
You took this picture?
yeah, it's nice.
Oh, there
right?
you go.
I like
beautiful.
the cool
Isn't it
lights.
pretty?
Everything's gold.
It was cool.
It's
Like
all-
it looked like it was retro, and it was really cool.
Very cool.
And but like so, it's like a 2-hour, 15-minute show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I say the first hour and 15 minutes is all this new stuff.
Oh,
Not even mixed in.
No.
never.
Not
fun.
even the good stuff
No,
mixed
dude.
in.
For like an hour and 15 minutes, I really didn't know much what he was saying.
John
And I'm not-
Mellencamp did that.
I know, and I never saw him again after.
Man,
Honest to God.
I love John Mellencamp.
I saw John Mellencamp, and I thought he sucked.
Come on,
I did, dude.
he's a Hoosier.
Agree.
We
I should
love
shut
him.
up. By the way, he's a Hoosier.
We
dad.
love him. Yeah,
I love
he is.
I love John Mellencamp,
Yeah.
but I thought he sucked that night.
Wow.
Okay. God damn.
I would
just,
see him-
I just lost a big
I know.
backer.
Tom's middle finger,
no.
John
No,
Mellencamp.
no. I love John Mellencamp. I wanted John Mellencamp to play the fest. We made
Many
multiple,
years.
We made multiple offers on him, and it just never came together. So
he
it's not,
lives here.
I agree, and he's a Democrat.
It's a 3-hour drive.
But I
north.
saw him on a night in Milwaukee. It was a weeknight, and he was playing none of his hits. He did the same thing that Elvis Costello did, except for John went the whole show hardly playing anything we knew. Like, I didn't know his new stuff. I wanted to hear Jack and Diane. I wanted to hear the old stuff, right?
Pink houses.
I go to see Elvis Costello, and he did that for the first hour and 15 minutes. And then the second half of the show was all of the stuff that you know and love, okay? And it was great. It was, but like, you had to, and it was a weeknight, and dude, you know me. I get tired at like 9:30. I'm like tired. My body's like shutting down, and I'm listening. And Elvis Costello's new stuff is very like it's
Mellow.
musical, but it's mellow,
Very mellow.
And so I'm listening to real mellow music, and it's I don't know the words or anything because it's all new, So I was sort of, trying to stay awake the first half, and then the second half of the show, I thought it was excellent. I did, but
He's good, man. I would have loved to see him. I mean, I haven't seen him. Gosh, I want to say 25 years probably.
Really?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Was he good back in the day?
Unbelievable.
Was he all hits back in the day?
Well, sure. I mean, that's when
Right.
like the new albums were coming out.
Right.
And he was. They never hits. They were
Dude.
playing on XRT and stuff. So
Right. No, he was a great musician though. But crazy thing happened though. So I'm there with a friend, okay, and there's a dude like a few rows over in the Chicago theater.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like we're in a Chicago theater, and for those of you that aren't aware, it's a gorgeous like small venue, 2,500
Classic
people.
theater.
It's
like
it's
from
more
the
for plays, right?
20s probably.
Yeah,
Right.
right. Like super decorated.
When
like,
Dave Letterman comes to town, that's where he does his show.
Right.
When he
In
used to
fact,
become,
Smart
they did
List-
Wheel of Fortune there.
Smartlist, the podcast, is doing a tour. They're doing Chicago
There you
theater.
go.
In fact, that's probably the next time I'll be back there, right? Because I love Smartlist.
We're
which
going to
is-
that.
I
We
love
have
it.
to go to that.
Good. I'm glad we're all on the same page.
I don't know who that is.
It's
don't
Will
get to
Ferrell,
go.
Jason Bateman, and Sean
Arnett.
Hayes. And
Oh.
they're so funny.
Will Arnett.
Will Arnett. What did I say? I said
Will
Will Ferrell.
Ferrell.
My
I
bad.
wish.
Will Arnett. Yeah. No, but they're excellent. And Will Arnett's my favorite. Funny enough. So I'm sorry. I rolled.
Gorgeous venue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this gorgeous venue, and we're in Chicago, right? And there's a dude like, I don't know, 20 seats over, in another like section, but like there's an aisle between him and me, and we're sitting there listening. And like I said, it was really mellow, right? And all of a sudden, this dude lights up a huge joint, like
Whoa.
in Chicago theater.
That's a non-smoking venue, I think.
It's such a sacred place.
He was the
Chicago
only
theater.
one in the whole theater. Like it was obvious though. As soon as he lit it up, it was like you could smell it. Like holy crap, some dude is
Where's
like,
that coming from?
I respect the guts on that man.
dude,
Yeah,
humongous,
but-
right?
Whoa.
The guts, humongous guts, right?
Yeah.
This dude, I'm like,
Should've
everybody's
done a
like,
one-hitter.
you should have seen, even a one-hitter would have been, but like he had this huge like bomber joint he bought, probably went to like a dispensary right before he got there.
Thought it
like,
was a Snoop show.
he,
What's a bomber joint for those that don't know?
it's far bigger than one person should have, right?
Like a Cheech and Chong
yeah,
joint.
no, but like they, so like Chicago, like they sell like these $20 ones, and he had like a $20 one, and he's like sitting there by himself just smoking. And I'm like horrified. I'm like, what the hell is the matter with this guy? It's freaking, it's freaking Elvis Costello in the Chicago theater.
It's like it smells
Right, you're
good,
not
but that's
outside.
inappropriate.
What's that?
You're not outside, is what you're saying. I mean, this
You're
is
inside.
It's just like-
you're inside.
I'm not like a prude in any way, shape, or form when it comes to weed. Okay, but we're in a Chicago theater, and there's nobody smoking. Like you're the only one smoking the joint, right? And so everybody's looking at him like, is that legal? Like everybody's like, wow, I didn't know. Like like if you can go that way, right?
So everyone else starts busting out their
Right.
weed.
Well,
'Cause
I think
it's a
everybody
legal
was reaching
state.
in their pocket at that point, right? And then the bouncer came over
Oh, boy.
and talked to him.
That was short-lived.
Yeah, and we're like looking. So like nobody's paying attention to Elvis at this point.
Everyone's
We're
like-
just like, what's going on with this
Everyone's
dude?
like, can I pull out my weed? Let me see
yeah,
what happens here.
What happens here determines a lot about the rest of the show, right? So we're sitting there looking at him, and then he got up and left. With the
With the
they didn't like
bouncer.
arrest him. They didn't like pound him to the ground or anything. They just said, "Hey, come with me," and he went with them.
Whoa.
He didn't come back.
Whoa.
So like
His
obviously.
massive joint.
Maybe he just went outside and
He
smoked
took
it.
his massive joint and went
Went
outside and did not come back. And I was thinking to
He
myself,
finished it off all by himself.
but like, there's this weird thing now because weed is legal in Chicago, right? So there's this weird
Yeah, but
thing
you
about.
don't like light up a cigarette in the middle of the Chicago theater during like Wicked.
Thank
It's-
you. I agree, right?
So-
There's like the potheads out there have to realize that there's a place, a
There's
place
a
and
time
time.
and a place.
Yeah, and that was not the time and place. Chicago theater was
Aragon
not.
Ballroom.
Why wouldn't you just do an
for Nine
edible?
Inch Nails? Do it.
Why not just do an edible?
Aragon Ballroom, Nine Inch Nails.
Without
For
a doubt.
sure.
Right. Okay. That's appropriate.
Riviera.
Appropriate.
100%.
Right?
Like
Chicago theater, Elvis Costello.
no.
Not appropriate. By the way, I go to an Annie show. This is like Annie before the pandemic. Same thing. Dude is
What?
We're at Annie.
Annie?
Annie.
Like the
The
musical.
sun will
The
come
musical.
out tomorrow.
Yeah, that one. That one. There's all these little girls with red dresses. I go to the bathroom and there's a dude straight up smoking a joint in the bathroom, and I'm like,
Snorting a line.
Hey,
what the hell is the
you
matter
know-
with you, man? I'm like, that's freaking Annie, dude. Like, what's the matter with
I'm
you,
gonna
right?
defend him
She's
here.
an orphan.
It is Annie, and I
But you're an Annie.
super hate
She's
that
an orphan.
musical.
But what I'm
and
saying-
I would want to be high for that too.
He was definitely. It was intermission. This dude smoking a joint.
He's like,
and
I
It's
Annie.
like
need
I
to get
can't
through
get through
this.
this
So
sober.
so let's go back then and review here. When you're seeing Elvis Costello at the Chicago Theater,
Inappropriate.
not appropriate.
Due to the venue. Not necessarily because of Elvis Costello. But
Right.
Yeah, due to
If
the
you
venue.
saw Elvis Costello someplace else, maybe it's appropriate.
Sure.
Not in Chicago Theater. When you're seeing Annie
Never
anywhere.
appropriate.
Never appropriate. Don't smoke weed at Annie, right? It's Annie. It's a bunch of kids, right? Not appropriate. Now, on the other hand, all right, I went to the Grateful Dead show 2 days in Wrigley. I went both days, actually. Friday and Saturday. It's very appropriate in that venue, right?
Outdoor.
Outdoor at Wrigley.
And it's the Dead.
It's a requirement almost.
I mean, there's probably, I was estimating 50,000 people at the Dead show at Wrigley because all the stands are packed, and then
it's an
everybody
open
on the field.
it's like an open stadium.
Right,
Obviously, it's Wrigley.
right.
So-
Now, probably 10% of the people are smoking weed, maybe more.
I was going to say
I
50.
disagree.
Like, I'm talking actively.
50%.
Hold on, you think
Actively?
50% of the people?
For
I don't.
sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
without a
100%.
Oh,
doubt.
no, high? Like edibles?
Edibles.
Yes.
I'm counting all that.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
for
Yeah, I'd
sure.
say that's probably.
It's
but like,
Heroin,
Dead.
cocaine,
No, like, I'm not going there.
LSD.
I'm not going there. But like, I'm just saying.
Acid.
10% on shrooms.
Listen, I'm not going there either.
MDMA.
I didn't go around asking. Okay, but I'm telling you, it was a weird sensation for me to be there, like literally right by the Chicago Cubs dugout, and just seeing people
Wow.
like just straight up smoking weed.
That sounds kind of nice, actually.
It was awesome. I mean, it was a really cool. Like you're like, wow, I've been coming here my whole life, and now like everybody's just straight smoking weed, listening to the Grateful Dead, which was amazing.
When you say everybody, I mean, it's like everybody or just like.
Pretty much everybody, yeah. Pretty much,
Everybody.
Way. Like,
yeah. Pretty much everybody.
But you were there
Is that a
too,
song?
like
What
everybody.
do you mean? Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I was at the Grateful Dead
Whoa.
show.
How dare you?
At the Dead show.
Yeah.
Partaking.
It is
I
kind of
did.
a requirement, though, right?
Why not? What's a big deal?
It's legal.
I was in Chicago, where it's legal. I was at the outdoor venue, Grateful Dead shows. By the way, I was there 2 nights. Yes.
Yeah, both nights.
Why not?
Oh, God.
Should we go on mute? Should we take a break? Should
Yeah, it's just we have to punt here. I don't know what the big deal
Cut
is.
the feed. Cut
First off, let me make something clear, okay? So I'm there, and I have a ride there and from, right? I'm in a state where it's legal. I'm at the Grateful Dead shows, right?
Sure.
So yeah, I did. Why not?
Not driving.
I wasn't driving. I had rides. I was in a state where it's legal. I by the way, I had a couple vodkas while I was there too. And I was, I know.
Is there any?
You're
on it?
doing the vodka?
I'm doing the vodka. I am doing the vodka also.
Father.
No, but like, what's the big deal? Seriously,
Well-
like it's just like drinking alcohol shortly after Prohibition ended.
It's actually healthier than alcohol.
no doubt about
It's
it,
a
Lindsay.
plan.
Alcohol
But doesn't
will
that
kill you.
just underlie the whole issue that we're having in the country about marijuana and weed? Like, oh my gosh, you're in Illinois, you can smoke weed. Oh my God, you're in Indiana, you can't. I mean, it's so crazy.
I just read a story this morning about this. 3 people got arrested because they came from Chicago Heights and they had weed in their car and they got caught. And they bought it legally. And then they just happened to drive through Indiana and, you know.
Which is, by the way, for those of you who don't know, Chicago Heights is like a mile from the Indiana border.
Right. I drive there every day, pretty much. You know, that's where my son goes to
It
school.
just kind of underlies this whole idea. I mean, I'm not just picking on Indiana, but like every state that hasn't legalized it, it's just like, well, first of all, you're just drowning in not getting this revenue, because you're not getting the revenue. Secondly, it's this mishmash of regulation. Like, I'm in this state, I can buy it and smoke it. I'm in this state, I can't.
Hey, John, could you pull up some stats real quick on what Michigan and Illinois are doing in weed sales?
I was just searching that.
Are you?
And I'm actually going to add it to your guys' notes here.
Could you?
So,
yeah. Because, listen, we're missing out on a lot, being honest. Like, and I'm not. So I do admit, by the way, I don't know how often elected officials admit that they do. If I'm in a situation where it's legal, why not? Like, I grew up in Northern California. I saw people my whole lives that smoked marijuana because I lived in a state.
Now it's totally legal.
Well, you go to California now, like, it's on the street, And by the way, if you go to Chicago, you'll smell it on the street too. It's because it's legal, right? And it's the same thing as alcohol. I approach it the same way, like. Well,
what states around here, Tom, are legal? I mean, I'm just thinking through it. Like Michigan's a yes, right?
Illinois.
Michigan has here. Hold on. Thanks, John.
Yep,
I see it now.
Yeah, it's in your guys' notes.
So Michigan. Okay, good facts on the cannabis industry in Michigan. In 2020, the state of Michigan redistributed over $45 million in taxes, fees from the sale of marijuana products back to municipalities.
Wow.
You guys want an extra couple $1 million? It's estimated that there were 320,000 full-time jobs in the cannabis industry in Michigan alone in 2020, up from 235,000 the year before. These are great, John. Thank you. Sales hit $20 billion in 2020 and are on pace to top $26 billion this year. And it's going to go to $46 billion in 2025 because Indiana is woefully behind this. So, like,
you're missing all this revenue.
The Hoosiers that are ignoring the law and they're driving to Michigan or they're driving to Illinois and they're buying marijuana and they're bringing it back into Indiana illegally. That's illegal, by the way. You could go to jail for that, right? So you could go to another state and buy something legal and then drive back into your state where you live and you can go to jail.
Listen to this about Illinois. This is absolutely mind-boggling. And John, these are great stats.
Thank you, John.
Last month, adults purchased 2.75 million marijuana products, with most sales, 81 million, coming from state residents and 42 million from out-of-state residents. So $123 million total in 1 month in October.
Those billion numbers are wrong then.
I said, yeah, 8th month in a row, Illinois topped 100 million in sales.
It says sales hit 20 billion in 2020 under Michigan.
That's nationwide, I think.
Okay. All right.
So 8th month in a row, Illinois topped 100 million in sales, over $1 billion in sales for 2021, and they took in over 670 million in marijuana sales and over 205 million in tax revenue this year. Last month was the first time quarterly tax revenue from marijuana was greater than alcohol.
Wow.
Think about that.
Greater than alcohol.
Alcohol, probably because it's taxed more.
Wow.
I would think a higher rate.
I know for a fact, that we have a dispensary about 1 mile from your house, Kevin.
Yeah.
A mile
absolutely.
and 1.2 miles, something stupid like that. Mm-hmm. And if we are naive to think that they put it that close to the border, if they're not getting tons of Hoosiers coming over to buy marijuana legally in Illinois and then transporting it back into our state. And under Indiana law, that makes you a criminal, And by the way, let's talk about federal, because if I'm elected Indiana's U.S. Senator, I'm a vote to decriminalize. I'm a vote to legalize marijuana, and I will. This is an issue I think is important because think about it, like I know people that have dispensaries back in California and in Colorado. I know these people.
Washington
State. They're not my best friends, but we talk in Washington. Excuse me, You're right. And we talk to these people they're young people that own these businesses. By the way, a lot of times they're young African American entrepreneurs because I know in Illinois they set aside a certain percentage
to make sure that
the
minority
licenses.
Communities are able to get dispensaries and licenses,
right?
Which is great.
So the problem that they have with these dispensaries, because cannabis is still illegal at the federal level, the problem that they have is they have to do everything in cash. These marijuana dispensaries will have hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash, and they can't put it in the bank because it's illegal federally.
Right. I mean, think about what's doing to the banking industry and what it could do to the banking industry in the U.S. I mean, right now they're sending their money to Canada. The stock market in Canada has marijuana companies. Not in the U.S. stock market. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're talking about
how about
just
this?
How about employment taxes?
How about this, Kev? How about Indiana is a farm state?
Yeah.
Southern Indiana, instead of growing some crops for a lower profit margin, they could decide I'm going to grow marijuana. on these great lush fields that I have that would, raise abundance of marijuana, and it would be potent and it'd be, popular, and people would buy it, and I would make more money on my farm because I can now farm in marijuana and hemp and stuff that I couldn't do before.
For years and years, I mean, Newton County and Jasper County were always like, hey, we found some weed down here. We're closing it down. Yeah,
right.
They're closing it down, or there's somebody who's growing it illegally. And I mean, this is a huge cash crop. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you go to these other states and you read about how much their economies have benefited from marijuana. I mean, remember when Colorado did it?
Yeah.
Their tourist industry went
because it was the only place in
the
America.
only place to go.
No, it's a lot more common.
Sure, absolutely. And if you have places like South Dakota and Mississippi that are passing referendums on marijuana, it's an issue that's not just like, oh my gosh, it's a liberal issue or it's a conservative issue.
Let me ask you, campaign manager, is it a big deal that I just admitted to that? I'm running for U.S. Senate, and I admitted that when I was in a legal state, I smoked marijuana.
I mean, I
did it 2 days in a row.
I guess it depends who you talk to, but I mean, I think most of America.
Tommy McDermott's calling me. I wonder if he's like, Dad, shut up!
Not listening to the pod.
Yeah, right.
Thanks,
Who's going
Tommy.
to break this first?
He's
Times, Post,
still
Region
sleeping.
News,
Lockpot, LLC,
Region News.
John.
I hope Region News breaks it first.
Pete in chat gets the
Somebody call
comment of the
Paul.
day. He said Todd Young's next ad. Can you trust a Hoosier that smokes weed and dislikes Mellencamp? Dan the Tracker. There's your ad.
There it is.
You think it's a big deal, John? I mean, first off,
I'm on the fence about it.
Could I say something? I don't want to be the kind of politician that lies to people. I just don't, right? So if I'm asked a question, I did, and I was in a perfect situation. Why not? I was in a legal state, right? I had a ride to and from, all right? It was like a community thing. It's not like, I went in there with a whole bunch on me. I went in there and people were literally passing it around. It was a Grateful Dead show.
I think to me, it seems like, if you're a social drinker, is that better than being an alcoholic? Absolutely. I mean, if you're smoking marijuana because you're socially at you're at a concert, you're doing this, you're doing that. I mean, it's legal in certain states.
It was legal there.
And if you want to do it, enjoy it. If
I
you
didn't
don't
drive.
like it, don't do it.
It's like if I went to the Cubs game and I drank a whole bunch of alcohol and I drove home, that would be illegal.
More dangerous.
I was driven there. I was driven back. It was a perfect situation. It was legal. It was acceptable. It was social. It was outside. It wasn't the freaking Annie. It wasn't, it wasn't the Chicago theater. It was a perfect situation, and I participated.
Yeah, I think it's like anything, right? When we go to places and we go out with a bunch of friends, some people choose not to drink. You can choose not to smoke marijuana. You can choose to smoke marijuana as long as it's legal where you're doing it. And
I don't love drinking.
I know. I mean, it's just your own choice, right? I mean, you do what you want to do, and as long as it's legal and you're safe about it and you're smart about it.
Lindsay, you think it's a big deal what I just did?
No.
Thank you. You're younger. You're in the younger generation. I imagine you know a few people.
I mean, you could have said that 10 years ago, and I still would have been like, meh.
If I said it 10 years ago, I'd have probably been
nonplussed.
I'd have been run out of town if I said that 10 years ago, right?
Because
Probably.
10 years ago was like I didn't.
Well, it was illegal everywhere.
I did inhale.
That's
It was
what.
this very-
If you talk to a normal, politician, yeah, it would have been illegal 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But if you talk to a normal politician and they're like, "Have you ever smoked weed?" They'd be like, "I did it a couple times in high school and I didn't like it," or like Bill Clinton.
Okay.
I did it, but I didn't inhale. I just wanted to be cool,
ages
right?
ago, right?
But what I'm
25
saying
years
is, like,
ago.
how often do you hear somebody being honest like I am? Yeah, I went to the Grateful Dead show at Wrigley Field and I smoked weed. No problem, right? I mean, and by the way, I was driven there. I was driven home, right? I wasn't intoxicated. It was just like a social thing. It was lovely. It was a lovely 2 days and listening to the Dead and Company and just like enjoying ourselves and
having fun. It was probably, and you rarely get those weekends off, so that was kind of a fun
I had
thing
like a
too.
whw weekend off. And I was like, for those of you that don't know, I love Grateful Dead and
Kick
Dead
back
and Company.
and enjoy, Mayor.
Well, anyway, I don't know if I just Kevin, you being campaign manager, you're gonna have.
I mean, it's
like,
I like the fact that we know that legalization of marijuana is an issue. So
It is with me.
why not be able to talk about it and talk about it in a sense that, like, look, this is my experience in other states where it's legal.
Right.
Let's talk about it. All right. Let's talk about legalization of marijuana.
I travel all over the United States, and I see where it's legal, and I see the people that own these dispensaries, and I see the people that are working there, and I see lines out the door, and I see economic development taking place around these dispensaries, and it's like we don't want any part of that here in Indiana, right?
It's a gateway drug.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. It's a plant. It grows in the ground. It's hard for me to understand how. Could you imagine if 100 years ago we made like daisies illegal?
Yeah.
Or like oh, you got daisies? Oh man, hide them.
it's
the
like,
cops are coming.
You know, just like I keep saying, alcohol. I mean, it's dangerous if it's used the wrong way. You just have to be responsible about it.
Here's what Chad is saying.
Okay, I'm interested.
Rick says, "Got my vote, Mayor now for sure."
I think he was
Dodie,
gonna
Shit, I
vote
should have
for you
announced this a long time
originally.
ago.
Dodie says, "Not a big deal to us baby boomers," and Samantha says, "The world is beautiful in all its majesty when you're high."
Whoa! And Dr. Forright said, "Bravo."
Yeah.
Dr. Forright,
I'm shocked
That's
that
my
Forright
doc.
would say
That's
that.
my doctor.
I also like the fact that Dodie said the first time she got high was at the Hammond Civic Center.
Really? That was a couple
she
weeks
really?
ago in my fundraiser.
8 days ago.
She was up there with Dan the Tracker. Dan the Tracker smoking his cigarettes, and Dodie was next to him, right?
You think Dan the Tracker smokes weed?
I'm gonna say no.
No?
Big no. He smoked cigarettes, though. I saw him. He was
Oh.
illegally
I saw
smoking
him.
cigarettes.
But we let him go. We let him off.
I didn't. I should have
We
called the
didn't write
cops
a
on him.
ticket.
Tased him. Dan, sorry about tasing you, Dan the Tracker.
For smoking
cigarette.
in the Civic Center.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I screwed up or not, Kevin.
I don't think. I mean, I don't know why you're worried about it.
Should
I
we
think at the
create
end
a
of the
poll?
day, it's just a.
Yeah, create a poll.
It's just a.
Just make me more
just
or
a
less
little
likely
something,
to be.
something.
Even if you kind of screwed
Yeah.
yourself over with this, you're still my dad.
That's
you're
nice
so
of you.
What's the poll?
And I'll always tolerate you.
What's the poll question?
I don't know.
Did
Marissa's gonna
Mayor
be mad.
Tom mess up?
I gotta call Marissa right after the show.
Oh, yeah. What?
Hey, honey.
Damage control.
You did what?
Yeah. But honestly, I don't want to be a liar. Okay, I don't want to like be that person that's running for office and fake. I just want to be honest and brutally honest. And when I see the cannabis industry in all these states that I visit and it's booming, and I come over here to Indiana, I read an article in the paper this morning where 3 people got arrested for it.
Well, that's
It's
another
like
thing.
for a
It's
couple joints. It's like, are you insane?
The decriminalization of it's important too. I mean, you've got so many people that were arrested for minor marijuana possession that now have it on the record, and it's something they have to worry about.
And what do you think about
Try
it?
to
What
expunge
if they
it.
wanted to go to like a great college?
Yeah, go to
And
law
they,
school.
Oh, you got a marijuana charge on your record? Sorry, you're not going to be able to go to Notre Dame or University of Chicago. You have a great stellar track record otherwise. Sorry, I can't do that if you have a crime against you, right? But if you're the same kid in a similar situation in Illinois and they catch you with a joint, they crush it on the ground and tell you to go on about your day. And that kid could get into Northwestern or the University of Chicago or Notre Dame. It's just doesn't make. And by the way, I could tell you as a former public defender, the only people that are truly penalized with these marijuana laws are the poor that can't hire lawyers and get out of this. Because let's say, for instance, Tommy called up and said, "Dad, I got bad news. I got a marijuana charge," right? I'd say, "Okay, Tommy," and I'd hire a lawyer, and that lawyer would do a good job for Tommy. They'd probably name Kevin Chandler Smith, and that lawyer would do a good job for Tommy,
Cantrell.
right? Or John Cantrell. But the lawyer would do a good job, probably get paid $1,000, and then ultimately Tommy would end up in some type of program where the charge would fall off,
He has
and
to
Tommy would
do-
be just
yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
right?
so just to kind of give you a similar thing that I experienced when I was doing public defender work in the federal courts, and that was that back in the day, they used to punish crack to the tune of about 7 or 8 times on the sentencing guidelines versus powder cocaine.
Yeah, man. I
And guess
remember-
what? Where was crack popular?
In
poor
urban
communities.
Poor and minority communities.
Right.
Where
Where
was
was
powder
cocaine?
cocaine popular?
Right.
On
Richer
Wall Street.
communities.
That's right.
You know, so I mean, it was ridiculous. And
You
I
could have the
remember-
same amount of regular cocaine and the same amount of crack, which is basically the same product, and you would get sentenced how much harsher for crack?
7
I want to say it was like
times
5
worse.
to 7 times. And here's the thing, though. Think about this. It was always by weight. Think about crack weight versus powder. Crack cocaine weighed more, so it was all by weights. You were getting screwed on the weight. It was terrible. They fixed it since
agree.
then, but it was totally.
Kevin, when I first started practicing, that was a huge issue,
Yeah.
and it was still happening, and it was the federal system that
yeah,
was
it's
doing
the
that.
federal
right?
system.
Right.
You guys,
Yes, sir.
props to Luke on this, but this is season 4, episode 20.
Oh, my!
Wow.
Whoa,
That is insane.
420.
That is insane.
How did that happen?
That is nuts.
That's the name of the show.
And
that is nuts.
Holy crap!
That's
wow,
hilarious.
420. How did that happen?
Oh,
That's so insane.
That is funny. That's crazy.
by the way, the results.
Luke,
are
you
in-
rock
Yeah,
for-
Luke rocks for that.
And we should have said.
Oh my God, that is so crazy.
Kansas State, Manhattan, Kansas.
That's nuts.
Luke is the man.
What are the
dude.
chances?
Luke, you are the Lockpod fan of the
420.
day, Luke.
Fan of the day for sure.
Episode 420. That's the name of the show, right, John?
That is the name of the show. The
Wow.
poll results are in. 97% say Tom's Senate chances are not hurt
Wow.
by
Okay.
admitting he smoked
Thank you
weed.
to Lockpod
Not hurt. Not
listeners.
hurt. Who is that 3%?
Don't know.
It's a single person,
single-
and it's
it's Dan the
definitely
Tracker.
not me.
It's Dan the Tracker.
It's Todd Young.
Yes. Todd Young's staff. All right, well, wrap it.
All right, I got to call my wife. I gotta get the hell out of here. Oh boy.
We need like scary music.
Yeah, Marissa's
Gonna party.
No.
you know,
Gonna
Marissa's the best.
party.
She loves me, regardless.
You
if
hope.
she does.
Regardless of
No,
you
but by the way,
consuming weed.
the thing is, I have a more liberal viewpoint than my wife does for sure. Because I grew up in California. Marissa grew up in a family with a police officer for a father and a teacher for her mother. Okay, so like she grew up in a really nice family, really sort of strict on that, and you know, I grew up in Northern California in sort of a hippie type of environment.
With a single mom.
Right, with a single mom in a hippie type of environment. So we see the world differently in that regard for sure. So I hope my wife still loves me when I get off.
I think
Of course she will, by the way. Of course she will, but she may be tapping her foot. Or
No more
something.
Grateful Dead shows for you.
But I love the Grateful Dead shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, wrap it.
Episode 420 will not be forgotten.
No.
I will not be forgotten by Mayor Tom. I can assure you that. But thanks to everybody for listening to Lock Pod. We do this every Tuesday and Friday. It's great to have the notorious LMP back in studio.
It's great to be here.
We got Jill coming back on Tuesday, so we're doing Tuesdays with Jill, Fridays with LMP. Kevin, the caboose, Coach Chandler Smith, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping it real. Jay Vez, awesome job again.
Thanks.
And of course, is coming live from Munster, Indiana. This is your locomotive and Senate candidate that just, according to 3% of the people, just
Maybe
torpedoed his chance. So.
Just ripped John Mellencamp.
I did not rip John Mellencamp. I love John Mellencamp. He just had a bad night that night.
There you go.
We all
We'll
have
take
bad
that.
nights. Love you, John Mellencamp. Take care, everybody. See you on Tuesday.